All right, today marks the day the ANC was formed back in 1912, an occasion that is not only marked by the cutting of the cake and various other programs, but remember, there is that statement that has become known as the January 8th statement that also gets tabled. So let's take you back now in time and just look at the significance of this particular day. This is an organization that at some point was led by someone like John Langalibalele Dube, for example, Pixley Isaka Seme. You also see A.B. Xuma there as well. And certainly as they move then, during the course of time, they also look at, the state of the party. And even earlier on today, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa speaking about the fact that the party is going to be looking at its current state and also taking stock of where it finds itself. Remember last year, this is a party ahead of the polls, was talking about a decisive win. And I'm not sure if we can put up some of the graphics now that speaks about this particular day, as then you look at what the party stands for when it comes to this particular statement. So remember last year in Mbombela, the party was marking 30 years of the country's democracy, and a very, very big task that it set itself was to win the elections decisively. That was not to be, and in fact, the party, the country is now in a government of national unity, something that even the ANC president earlier on today was talking about, saying that as they reflect, they are then talking about, the fact that they've made some significant losses at the polls, and they are now trying to see how best to be able then to reclaim their former glory. A province like the Western Cape, where they used to have a decisive victory and govern, they've now lost and are looking at reclaiming lost ground there as well. Also last year, some of the party's priorities were looking at intensifying the renewal of the ANC. Quite interesting when you look at this particular point, because it was looking even in the previous year at the quality of its members, saying that it's taking things to branch levels. It's now going to look at its branches to ensure that its members at branch level are able to reflect and even resolve some of the issues that would be faced by community members. But how much of this renewal has it been able to do is a question we'll pose to Angelo Fick in just a moment, because you think about the fact that it talks about renewal and it speaks about some of these priorities. And if we can bring that graphic back again, just to look at some of the priorities there. One of the priorities was to resolve the energy crisis and also look at the issue of load shedding. We haven't had load shedding, but some are saying that have the measures that have been put in place, financially sustainable in order to ensure that we do not find ourselves here. It speaks of reconstructing the economy as well. And as it reconstructs this economy, what does it mean when you think about the backdrop of an ArcelorMittal, for example, a company that is now closing, planning to close its steel operations, and people, for example, of an area like Newcastle will then be impacted. 3,500 jobs in this company are now on the line. You look at the number of young people that are also unemployed. What does it mean when you think about reconstructing this economy? The issue of the African Continental Free Trade Area, how much of it, has also been, done, because they were also talking about it last year to say that this can be a game changer. So is it still well on its way to becoming a game changer? So certainly as they get these marching orders, what does it mean? Especially when you table a statement, when you don't have the majority in government, can you then be able to meet all your priorities? Or does the statement simply just become about what the ANC is set to do for itself, especially now as we look ahead to the 2026 local government elections? It's going to have its main address in Khayelitsha. We saw a number of leaders there as well, just making their way into different homes. Yesterday, even the deputy president of the party finding himself there in one home, not wanted by one of, the occupants there, saying that he doesn't want any politicians in his home, and it's going to be on January the 11th. So can they be able to win back the people of Khayelitsha? You think about poverty, inequality, and some of the conversations that would be had about the state of that particular, township. Also at the same time, as they focus on reflection and renewal, what becomes their priorities? What becomes their achievements? What becomes the challenges that they now want to confront as South Africa? So